Hi guys, you're going to move on to existing products next. So this is what you need to do. What I'm looking for is 4 existing products, so 2 on each page. You're looking for 2 pages of A3, looking for good analysis of existing products. Okay. Now existing products you can search for on the internet. Now, if I was simply going to open up an internet browser and search for bird feeders, okay, the issue with doing it this way is that once you open something up like this and you start searching for something, so let's say that one, you're not really sure what size that is, what it's made from, etc, etc. Now you can click on the link there to the website, but it might not have the information on. You are much better going on feeders. It doesn't have to be wooden, but that's just something that I found earlier. I found this one here, look, straight away, number 1. And the benefit of this is, look, yes, it says, for example, covered by plastic, okay, there, but it has sizes on it, etc. It gives me good information straight away, lots of different views so I can see how it works. That's why it's a benefit of doing it through a website like that. Okay, so once you've found one, copy and paste that picture over, okay, onto an A3 page. Now I'm using Affinity Design. You could use Microsoft Publisher if you've got a Windows PC, or if you haven't and you haven't got Affinity Publisher, if you're on a Mac, you can use Microsoft PowerPoint. Okay, it doesn't really matter. What matters is the content. Okay, so this page here will be uploaded to your files area shortly, but I've written out some questions that might help you on the left hand side. So first of all, let's look at material. What is it made from? That's quite an easy answer, isn't it? We know it's going to be made from wood, probably some metal on top. Okay. However, because we're looking at GCSE now, we can't just say wood and metal. We need to be more specific. So where do I look? Well, obviously I'm going to look on the website. And if I scroll down to the product information, material there says wood. So that's no use to me. Okay. If you end up in that sort of situation, what you need to do is simply kind of guess. Okay, so if I zoomed in on this picture, I can see there's like splits, there's knots, it's very pale. I'm going to say that is pine, and then try and match up what you think is right. So what I would type here, I'd get myself a text box out and I'd type out materials and I'd type out something like, this product is made from wood, or this product is made from pine. Now that alone is not enough. If you go back to this question here, what is it made from and what benefit or drawbacks does it have if it's made from that material? So I can't just simply say this is made from pine, it is good. Okay, if I show you what I've written, I've said material as a subtitle. This bird feeder is made from pine. It's factual, it's to the point, job done. The reason for this is to bring down the cost and to make sure that the client can purchase more than one. Okay, so I've given it a reason. I've told me why it's made from pine. I've said the designer has chosen to use pine because it is a cheap material and can be readily available quickly. As in, there are millions of pine trees in the world. We can replenish pine very quickly. However, I've put the drawbacks of using pine, however, are that it will rot away very quickly when compared to a hardwood. Okay, so pine is a softwood. It will rot away very quickly when it's left outside. Now, what you'll notice is I'm often answering the question, why? So it's not good enough. It's made from pine, it is made from steel, it is made from acrylic. Whatever it's made from, be factual. But you need to do the research to answer the question, why? Why is it made from that material? And as I've said here, look, I've said it's made from pine to be cheap, and I've also then given it a negative of saying that it will rot away. Okay, so those 2 questions there, although I could have answered that by going literally one word, pine, and good and bad, I've actually physically written out a bit more of a paragraph to help explain that sentence and that answer a little bit more. Now, if we moved on to cost, it's the same sort of thing. So how much does it cost? You could quite literally in a text box put the cost, in which case I think on the website it says, there you go, $13.99. So I could quite literally just put $13.99 and be done with it. But again, that is not enough. You need to go into far much more detail. So why does it cost this much? Well, you could say, for example, it's a complicated design, or is it a simple design? Because if it's complicated, it's going to take someone a long amount of time to make. Therefore, you've got to pay them their wages. Therefore, it's going to be more expensive. If they're using lots of different types of materials, they're going to have to source all those different types of materials. So if they're using plastic, metal, and woods, and probably 2 or 3 different types of woods, they're going to have to pay for those. So it's going to be more expensive. Okay. So again, you can answer those questions based upon the more information and answering that question of why. Now, the same things go for size and function. Okay, if you want to come up with more areas than that, that's absolutely fine. Okay, I strongly suggest you try and write as much as you can and be evaluative. You are evaluating the product. Okay, it needs to be factual and not come from your point of perspective. You can't put, I like it because it's made from pine. Okay, you have to, it costs this much. Okay, you're being factual. The 2 bits that are quite tricky are these 2 here, client feedback and your opinion. Now, client feedback, you need to write it as if you're interviewing the client based around that product. Okay, now what I do, and I strongly suggest you do the same, and I'll show you what I've written. I've changed the font color of my client feedback. I've put it in little quotation marks and I've turned italics on to make it sloped. So I've put, I really like this design, however, I don't think there is enough space for the birds to feed from as the tray is quite small. Okay, so as you analyze this product and evaluate it, you also need to be thinking about what your client would say. Now, your client can't just say, it's amazing, it's brilliant, I don't like, I can't think of anything negative to say, because otherwise they'll just go and buy that one. So it's pointless in you designing something if someone's going to be made something that's perfect already. So you need to be thinking about negatives. Now, the last one is your opinion. Now, you can put your opinion in there, but you don't have to. The reason I've put it in there is sometimes, and I tend to do it in a different font color, so maybe blue or green, and saying, I really like this design. I like the fact it's got a sloped roof because it keeps the rain off it. I like the hanger because it's nice and simple. And I like the idea of having a mesh to keep the birdseed all inside at once, nice and easily. Okay, so you yourself can then bring your opinion in. Otherwise, it needs to come from the client. Or if you're doing, say, function, size, cost, material, etc., it needs to be factual. Now, as I said, I'm looking for 4 existing products, so 2 on a page. Whether you do that in PowerPoint, Publisher, whatever else is up to you. Okay, but you need to do 4 of them. How you present it is up to you. Now, I've done it as a mind map around the outside of my design. Okay, you could do literally a big old paragraph underneath it, including all these items if you want to. That's fine as well. It's entirely up to you. Okay. Now, as I said earlier, these are only some areas that you might want to focus on. I've also uploaded into the files area of your teams what we call the Access FM area. Okay, so this is a list of questions you can use to help you analyze. You don't have to use them, but you can if you want to. I'll be around tomorrow morning anyway on live chat if you need to ask me anything. But basically, what I'm looking for is in tomorrow's lesson, so that hour and 40 minutes, which should take this long, finish or complete 4 existing products in detail, like my material one here. Doing a bit of research, making sure you write things properly. Okay, good luck.